Hi there, and thanks for joining us. I'm Julie Musgrave. 1 in 3,000 babies are born with something called craniosynostosis. It's where parts of the skull prematurely fuse together, not allowing for normal brain and skull growth. But it can be fixed through careful recrafting. Here's Troy's story of how his skull got a new shape thanks to skilled pediatric surgeons at community medical centers.
He's always been a happy baby. Since the moment he was born, he's always had a smile and his one dimple.
Carefree and charismatic, this tiny toddler doesn't seem like he's just had major surgery, but he did. His skull taken apart, then put back together.
When he was born, he had a ridge down the back of his head. And
parents Melody and Greg Swarthout knew something wasn't right from the beginning, and around the time he turned 6 months old,
his head was still growing in an oval shape, kind of protruding in the back area.
So they pushed for a diagnosis, and in the process met Dr. George Zachary, the director of cleft and craniofacial surgery at UCSF Fresno.
Craniosynostosis is a birth defect where the suture is prematurely fused, the suture in the skull that allows the head to grow.
He says the head then grows abnormally in shape.
The pressure inside the brain will go up because the skull can't really grow the way it's supposed to.
It can lead to learning delays and visual problems later on. The fix involves major surgery.
Worried, scared, unsure.
Troy's parents say while it seemed like a lot to put their son through, they knew he was in good hands.
We talked with Dr. Zachary and his whole team, and we felt real comfortable. We had tons of people praying for him.
Troy had his surgery at Community Regional Medical Center at 9 months old.
We went in, we opened the scalp, we drew out the area of the skull that we wanted to remove, which was most of the posterior skull and top of the skull. Removed all of the bones of the skull, including the affected suture, cut them into the appropriate shape, and bent them to fit into the appropriate shape of what a normal skull should be, and then plated it back with resorbable plates and screws. So all these plates and screws will dissolve on their own.
Dr. Kuo, a neurosurgeon at UCSF Fresno, handled any cuts that were directly over the brain. The outcome was an entirely reshaped scalp, and in no time,
he bounced back, and within a week he was starting to walk.
if he didn't have a scar to show it, I don't think you'd be able to tell he had a major surgery.
Today, Troy is busy keeping up with his 2 big brothers, and he's got a newly shaped skull to grow into.
And we think Troy looks perfect.
Along with that big personality he's always had. Dr. Zachary says Troy's outlook is great. He predicts that Troy won't need another surgery again and will develop just like any other child with a completely normal life.